Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Trekyards. He is Commander Cockins.
And he is kind of Foley.
And we're here talking today about episode 8 of season 2 of Picard, and that is titled Mercy.
Almost at the end, Stuart. We can see the finish line. I'm eager to see what you think. You've just finished watching it. I watched it earlier. We'll do a full review tonight, as we always do. A full breakdown, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT. Check out our full scene by scene. It's worth watching. But Stuart, if you're spoiler-filled, edited thoughts, what was your thought of this episode?
This one felt like a little bit of a discombobulated mess. There was some really weird edits and sound, like music cues that were building to something and then just died. And the Agent Wells thing, I mean, yeah, so far, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I thought the last one kind of like cleared up all the crap with Picard and all that, and a lot of people really didn't like that last one. It's kind of split 50-50. This one, the stuff with him like first interrogating them or interviewing them was not bad. It kind of devolved though for me. The Rio stuff is very much hinting at him wanting to stay. The Borg Queens, I don't know. There's just this one was a kind of a mess for me. I didn't enjoy this one as much as I don't know why. I just didn't enjoy this one as much. That's kind of where I'm going to leave it there. We'll talk about it in more detail in a minute. How about you, though?
It wasn't very good, was it? Really? Like, I walked away saying it was okay, but it honestly feels like I'm just disappointed in general by the season. Like, they just keep pushing that disappointment level higher. It felt to me as if they had 5 side B plots with not a single A plot, which we've long since lost. And so I'm watching 5 B plots, none of which are particularly interesting because they're B plots. There's no overarching story that's really grabbing anybody. And because they're all B plots, and because of the season-wide arc, none of them progress enough to be that interesting. The only interesting thing this week is Q's thing, and it's very much written like a, oh, we forgot Delancey needs to be in the season. Let's just quickly bring him in on Thursday to film a new scene to make sure he's in the season, and he'll leave. It feels so lowbrow storytelling would bring him in to progress his storyline, even though it's not it's fine written, but it's not well executed. It's not integrated. It's just 2 people in a room. It's so lo-fi. And then, like I said, everything else is a B plot. That we were waiting, expecting the big epic Borg Queen stuff this week, and it was again dragged on another week. How can we keep dragging basic stories on for 7 episodes? And back to the Renee stuff, we just don't care. They've not engaged. And now I've lost all faith, honestly, in the last 2. Because just like Discovery, very much like Discovery Season 4, they've lost momentum again and again and again, to the point of there's so little story they have that without completely undoing the basic story to get to the end, it's going to be not good next week. I have no faith now next week will be a good episode. And the last one might be better because they can do something to season 3, but there's nothing here to be excited about. Honestly, and this was the one I thought they were going to regain momentum, and they yet again dragged that piece of gum. Now it's just getting stretched so thin. It's so strange. It's so strange.
It's funny you said that and compared it to like, it is like a race. You know, you start with a sprinter, you're really great off the line, and as they're approaching that finish line, as you said, it feels to me like people keep jumping and grabbing onto his legs. Like there's now 3 more plot points we have to deal with in 2 more episodes before the end of the season. It feels like they're piling stuff on all last minute.
But they've also been dragged over 8 episodes. They could have sort of finished one storyline through for the first 3. I have sub stories. You can't stretch. Like, this is why serialized, if it's not a good story, it starts to fail, because it's not. They're not good individually, and they're not good overall. Well,
This one's suffering from the same thing that Discovery Season 4 suffered from. Some razor-thin plot points that they're just dragging on. And I don't like the accumulation of stuff in this episode. Now we got to do with the Borg still. That's not clarified. We got to do, there's just soon going to mission control and trying to stop the launch. There's just a lot that's kind of built up. And I thought, yes, it would kind of hit that middle mark and then, really kick into gear for leading into the next episode. And it just didn't. It was another fizzle out for me.
Well, and none of those individual plots are exciting. even Sung having an assault team somehow, even though he's just been fired and is he's now a criminal, it jumped massively shark there. Like, that wasn't exciting still. None of the things were exciting here. And obviously you watch the non-time cop, that fills out as well. It's just the whole thing is just a mess of, we don't have enough story, we're in a pandemic, we don't have locations and don't have money. Another big element is that normally when you go back in time episodes to the either it be the TOS ones, the Star Trek 4 or Voyager or DS9, those ones, they utilize the era. Having Seven and Raffi in a street with close-ups, they could be on any planet, in any time, in any place. You're not gaining anything by this. You're not utilizing the fact you're back in time in any useful, meaningful way. And so them being back in time doesn't really grab in those scenes. It's just two people that look like they're in stuff. They're just two actresses on a street in LA talking. So there's nothing there to be gained. There's no oomph. And seeing them undo a mobile phone and plug in tricorder is not interesting in any way. They're not gaining. They're not even using the present day stuff to any great effect. And that's the big gimmick of this season. And they've not used it.
Even the Corey stuff, like now she just walked away. Like I think we're probably not going to either one or two things are going to happen. We're not going to see or hear anything more about her. She's on her own. She's gone. Or plot twist, and this popped up in my brain. She's going to become the new Borg Queen for some reason. But that whole Soon thing was unsatisfying to me in many ways. I mean, now he just seems like a real complete jackass. I don't know. I didn't enjoy that. And the whole Q being in the program thing, talking to her, was kind of silly as well. That plot point getting out of the way was fine because I didn't even miss him last episode. Like, it wasn't important. And I kind of don't like the way they're dealing with him. Like, they gave him that choice. You can either die a failure in your own puke, or you can become the godfather of the planet, essentially, and become father of the future with statues of you,
Not really a choice, is it?
No, it's not. I gotta say, though, Girardi's acting in those final scenes with her talking to Soon, she really harnessed the Borg Queen sound and vibe, for sure. So that was good.
Yeah, you can tell they had both actors on set, and then the one did how they would do it, and the other person mimicked it in their own way, and that was really, really good. Didn't feel like Alison Peel's Girardi at all. That was actually very interesting. I was shocked by the lack of engagement to the Borg storyline. If you're going to commit, and they're just not committing to anything.
Well, they did link though that if Renee goes on this mission and recovers this thing from the moon of Io, that his work will be just brushed under the carpet. If she doesn't do that, then he's going to become the ecological savior of the planet because of the ecological issues. So they did kind of go back to the point where Renee's mission is the important thing. Not really explained super well.
I mean, it's there, but I've already lost interest in Renee.
Me too.
Because she was a razor-thin character, and we finished that story arc. We completely swapped into a better Picard story arc. And they've gone back, but we've moved past that. Like I say, everything's a B plot. Where's the A plot? Where's the really interesting, gripping story? Where's the Confederation officers have gone back in time to stop them, and they're using all their future tech? Where's the Borg Queen who's assimilating people, and then there's this big hive, mini Borg drone facility that's now got 15 full armored drones, and they're in full Voyager uniform. And where's that? Where's the time cops being pulled in to give us temporal stakes? Where's any Vulcan interest? I mean, seriously, what the hell was the point in those Vulcan flashbacks? What
didn't even tie into
massive
Carbon Creek at all.
Yeah, what a massive letdown. But yeah, talk about Carbon Creek. I mean, just lack of.
Yeah, well, Dave Blass had tweeted the day before this aired that he was watching a season 2 episode of Enterprise for no particular reason. Everybody freaked out because episode 2 in season 2 is Carbon Creek, and they thought that would tie into the Vulcans. It really didn't. It looked like they were doing a brief experimental mission, and then they got beamed out as they were trying to mind meld with this kid and erase his memories. I did like that his recounting of the tale, though, was like he was pushing his hand into my head, and because it's a kid's perspective, sees things different or remembers it differently. But it was really pointless.
If that was the A story, where we get this great Vulcan backstory and we realize that's the real reason the Confederation changed the timeline and they're Vulcans in their future and some depth to it. They've been great, but it fizzles out to mean nothing. And I was shocked how they made these Vulcan scenes and it was all in the trailer. There's literally nothing else. We saw every single shot, bar like the in-between, running away from. Like, everything was in the trailers. No point. And obviously he's not Duquesne, and he fizzles out as a character, feels empty. It was honestly a whole load of disappointing things. Whole load of. And even the Rios and Teresa stuff is fine, but again, the Mascherino sets are not good sets, so it looks ugly. And yes, it's a bit of heart, but if that's the A story, that's great. But that's the C plot. Lots of other C plots, and one B plot. Nothing has enough interesting stuff to grab you.
Yeah, and there's still some weird unanswered questions, like Q coming in an FBI uniform without having his powers. Why do they think he's an FBI agent? How did he get his
from a
clearance or his
Europa
papers?
agent person? He didn't have that much knowledge, but also he was summoned by the genie vase, so he must have his powers to get there.
It just took me a long time to get here.
I guess that's funny. It's a good-ish scene, but it feels like Delancey. Honestly, it feels like Delancey read the first 2 episodes and had fun with them, knowing I'm going to be in 2 and 3. I'm going to have fun. Here it feels like, oh, I'm not really in this season. I'm just going to do my lines and leave the scene. It didn't have that oomph. I know he's talking about darkness and whatever, but it missed that some special something, the source that Delancey brings. It just felt like a man in a room talking to a lady in a room without this whatever.
It didn't add anything to the Q Guinan dynamic. There was a lot of potential there for that conversation to do well. She had the hands up for like kind of off camera a little bit for like a second, but there was nothing that added to the mystique of their relationship, where in the future he's so contentious towards her.
I don't know why there wasn't. If it was all about time travel, then she would know that he's not from the reality she's from, which means they should have had a flashback of Whoopi in the episode TNG seeing Q, and then like suddenly they're on 10 forward and she's experiencing it fresh, and you could have done something with that to have her remember the past, future, all that stuff, because it's meant to be time sensitive. You could have used that. Instead, just like, you're a Q. Oh, I hate you, Guinan. Okay. Like there's a disconnect, whereas you'd think that she would. This is an alternate universe, alternate timeline. He's a god Q being. You could have used that to create, and since they're going to reset this time anyway, you could do anything with it. It's just wasteful. Wasteful.
7 had I thought she was going to have it started out strong with her, saying, I'm not a Borg. I don't have the transceiver. I can't locate. And I love the kind of resentment towards Raffi for, what is that? What does me being 7 mean to you? That was good. It was leading somewhere. And then that kind of fizzled out also. Go analog. And she asked the guy, finally somebody was sweeping up that glass, by the way. But anyway, she asked the guy where they went, and how was that for analog? It's like, well, that's just common sense, but good job.
Yeah, if that was the A story this week, with given the budget to do it and not have them in an alley, it would have been great. If each of the stories would have been an A plot, they could have given it more time. Have Guinan with Q as an A plot. Wow. Have Picard and Time Agent as a plot. Wow. Have Brent and Ball Queen as a subplot. Wow. Like, any of them as plots would have been good, but all as the lo-fi B plot without the money put into it, they all fall flat on their face. Because yes, there's interesting stuff, and talking about the collective such, and Seven just basically explains why she can't be in a relationship with anybody because one isn't enough. That's fantastic. That's really clever dialogue. That's really nice. It's very sad, and I like all the reactions there, but it's just not. They're just in an alley. It hasn't got the thing that you need. If it was just on a Starfleet spaceship, it'd have added some nuance, and even them cutting back to them with Elnor on the Less Arena. Have it bloody be on the Stargazer as a have a Stargazer corridor as a Federation starship. Don't have it on the crappy Less Arena set.
Show off your budget.
Because it also pales the fact that you only have about 4 sets in the entire series. Really, 4 or 5 sets. That's really it. They feel so. I mean, it's better than season 1 in a sense, but they just can't. They're missing this. They're missing all of the magic. And yeah, I mean, certainly didn't spend all the budget on the Stargazer. I just think they chose to spend the first 2, because you spend it as chunks, so you could easily all of the budget for the first 2 went on the first one, but they're really siphoning money to give them more money in season 3. I think they said to themselves, right, we have to make season 2 less budget than season 1, because the COVID procedures take us so much money. So we're going to cut every single corner possible in terms of scope to allow us to do it under budget, to give us the budget to build the Stargazer sets, which means we won't take away from Season 3 budget, and because that'll be a year into the pandemic, we should be better and well equipped to do things quicker, and so put all the money from that into Season 3 and give Season 3... We know we can't do a good Season 2 in the pandemic. We know we can't do it justice. We'll do a much super small, and put all the money in Season 3, and then do that as big as we can a year later. But boy, is it a detriment to the story. They shouldn't have started big. They should have started small. They shouldn't have given us something that good. It was really a bad move from them.
Yeah, you can tell where what's his name left to do Season 3, and yeah, where Terry left, because now it's Akiva Goldsman, right, who's taking over it. Yeah,
all the middle ones.
So it's obvious, and it's sad, because yes, we went into this season going, yes, that was a fantastic first episode, and then
the internet was abuzz, Stuart. There was news articles everywhere, and it's not that it's bad. It's just it's disappointing, and it's not very interesting. You know, people are not gonna go in 5 to 10 years and look back at Season 2 of Picard and say anything except, it's alright. Like, it's not gonna have any sort of legacy, unfortunately, and completely be overshadowed by how bad Season 1 was and how good Season 3 will be with the cast coming back. You know what I mean? It'll be completely not talked about, even with a season finale this epic. It cannot regain momentum. It really can't. Gosh. It's just weird. It's just weird, Stuart. Pandemic, man. Some shows did it better than others, and this one they have just not done it well.
I guess I'll leave it there on a disappointing note. Please join us for our live later tonight, though. But in the meantime, comment down below what you thought about this episode and your thoughts on it, whether we got it right, whether we got it wrong. We want to hear what you guys think. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to join us for those lives, like I said, because there's a lot of great conversation to be had there. And sometimes our minds get changed. Sometimes we realize something brilliant happened, or you guys really contribute to that conversation. So,
well, also, you're going to watch it more than once, so am I. And we'll do them scene by scene, so we're going to have a much bigger conversation. We're just sort of, whatever comes to mind and free flow, that'll be very sort of structured, and yeah, we always think a lot more about it when we get into it. Yeah, tune in for that. And if you want to support what we do, then super chatting on those lives are mega, mega important. Basically, lets the channel continue to go forward, or one-time donations at PayPal, trekyards@hotmail.com, or regular monthly at Patreon, or join the channel on YouTube. All great ways, all very helpful ways, and thanks in advance, and look forward to seeing you next time.
That's right. So until then, he is still Commander Cockings.
He's still Captain Foley.
Bye, everybody.